Hey, this is Louiedfresh bringing it to you on a Thursday. I am going to continue our little fish segment, and I actually thought about this because believe it or not, I do contemplate what to talk about, and I don't have a script. I just kind of speak from whatever I was thinking about. And first, I want to give you a little update about the 75-gallon tanks that I've been working on. Apparently, my guy John from Aquatic Creations, for some reason, he stopped communicating with me on July 13th, to be exact. And today, as you see by the timestamp, today is September 2nd, even though this will air, I believe, on the 12th of September. I don't know what happened, and so whatever. So I wish him well. So I went to my go-to people, which was the neighborhood fish farm, as you've seen my last fish video, which we did Species Sunday. A lady named Caroline, but she likes to be called Caro, so I call her Caro. And she agreed to work on my tanks, and she also agreed to a YouTube video. So once they're ready, so that is the update on that. So I gave you that update to kind of tell you that. As you know, I live in South Florida, and as if you're not quite aware, it is 93, 94 every day for about 2 solid months, like solid months. I mean, every single day, 93, 94, including today, which is September 2nd. And what happens is that after some time, you kind of notice, like the heat kind of be trouble with the fish tanks or whatever, and that's the reason why I want big fish tanks with larger reservoir of water. The tanks take longer to heat up. So with that said, I had noticed about a month ago that I had a few, 3 or 4, to be honest, fish die in a couple of my tanks. And in the 3 fish tanks that I have that I'm going to consolidate is one. And that was very troubling because I told you I hadn't lost a fish since Hurricane Ida in 2017. Not Ida. Irma. Ida was the one that just went through New Orleans, but Irma. And so I'm telling you that is because I was concerned, what was going on. And so I tried different things. I tried different water changes. I checked the water. The water seemed fine, but I did notice that the water had gotten more acid. And so I looked and I reviewed again, and I saw my fish were more alkaline based, more tetras and swordtails. They seemed, and they weren't as active as they were before. And I thought it was the heat, to be very honest with you. But then I did some more research, and this is why the basis of this video. Even though I'm not going to show you the item that I'm talking about, I'm talking about driftwood. And I bought a couple of pieces of driftwood, and you can get those in any really aquarium shop. You can either get them dry, and you can kind of boil them and get them ready for the fish, or you can usually buy them with Anubias, which again, you can look it up, and eventually I'll talk about Anubias in a Species Sunday. But I had them for about 2.5 years, pushing 3 years, and all of a sudden all 3 pieces and all 3 fish tanks started to seriously deteriorate and thus break down. And breaking down, it started to make the water much more acid and thus cause difficulty. And that is the basis of why I came up with this video about driftwood. You'll notice on my social media this past week on Tuesday and Thursday. On Tuesday, I spoke about water chemistry, and I notice my hand is not shaking as bad today. Water chemistry and how it lowers the pH. And that could be a positive because you want more of an Amazonian look. So that could be a positive. This is also a big positive that it creates a hiding place for fish to feel more secure and less likely to seek refuge. You see the tetras in this example that they're not hiding. They're just kind of swimming freely because they feel that they're more secure. And that is also a positive of driftwood. And this is also a big thing. It promotes the health of your fish because it grows beneficial bacteria. And I'm going to mention this a little bit later on in the video. This is why I think I'm going to have gravel or the little stones, substrate, if you look back on my archives, in my new fish tanks once we get them, to kind of promote this beneficial bacteria, because I need somewhere for the beneficial bacteria to grow. And before, it used to be my driftwood. But also on my social media, I think this was last Thursday, You'll notice that I did mention this, that as a negative of driftwood, and this is what really did me in, was there was an increase in acidity of the tank. And if you look back on my archives, again, connections, referring to pH, the pH for, and you need to do your research, and once I eventually get to Species Sunday referring to fish, you will notice that it's really important to do your research to know what kind of fish you're getting into. Not just big, small, but it's also what they prefer. And my fish kind of preferred a more of an alkaline, neutral-based pH. And this is what really did me in. And the driftwood, in this case, became not suitable for my fish, and so I had to take it out. And it's better, but like I said, I'm going to show you something that once we get to that point, that you know, tanks are not always exactly the way they should be. So let's continue outside, shall we? Hello, I am back out here in the lake, and I haven't been out here in a while to show you. And again, it is September 2nd. Again, this I believe will air on the 12th of September. But I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you the lake. I wanted to show you that there is well, first of all, how high the grass has grown because of the rainy season. But also that there is minimal amounts of wood. There is a piece of wood here. But like I said, for the most part, and if you walk, I'm gonna try to step out here a little bit further, and my friend the ducks and what have you, you'll notice that there is really very little wood. And that being the case, again, my learning tool, this lake houses bass primarily, and they're decent sized, I would say 5-6 inches, and they also are alkaline based. And also I learned that rainwater will also make your water a little bit more acid, and I'll talk about that at a later time. But because the reservoir water is so big, it stays a little bit more alkaline based. If you looked at my connections in the past, you'll notice that the lake here is more alkaline, and thus the bass can live more freely. Now that I showed you my learning tool, the lake, let's go to my fish tanks. And I'm trying to make these videos a little short so they don't go on forever. Okay, I'm now back under the awning, and I want to show you again the 2 fish tanks that I've been showing you for about a year now. And I want to show you that every tank is not always the same. Even if they're really right next to each other, literally, the chemistry can be different. So that's why talking about fish and keeping them is not always as easy as it may seem, even though it is easier than salt water. But each ecosystem, each tank can be different. Here is the 2 tanks. I put these as Kali will. Ooh, Kali didn't walk in front of them. These tanks, I put these plants here to kind of shade them from the incredible sun and heat. But it's funny, the one with the bushier one, you'll see that there is a caveat. And I want to show you these fish, how much more peppy they are, because I removed the driftwood and I have no longer have dead fish. So as I said, this is the tank here, one of the tanks. You'll notice that the fish are much more free-flowing. And again, it's about 8 o'clock in the morning, so they're still a little sleepy. But notice that that it's just so much, they're much more alive, for lack of a better word. And that really has made all the difference, getting rid of that driftwood. And I'm very happy that I found out that was the cause of the acidity and causing a couple of fish in this tank to die. And as I finish up my video, the tank literally right next to it that has the bushier plant has an algae issue, and I've tried to tackle it and really been unsuccessful. So I'm just kind of riding with it, and but the fish are healthy. You can see here that it is kind of murky in there, and that's not cloudy, even though it may not show as well in the video. That is kind of greenish, but that is because of the algae, and the tank is literally right next to it. But like I said, the fish are a heck of a lot healthier. They're swimming better. They've actually grown a little bit. And so I have learned that driftwood can indeed make your tank more alkaline, and you need to kind of do research on your fish, because now that I took that out, my fish are a lot healthier and they are not dying on me. And that's all I got on driftwood. Make it a great day.